So once again, thank you so much for joining today. We
You're
will
welcome.
discuss about so the topic of today. It's the structure of an effective retrospective. And first of all, I want to start a discussion about the agenda of this topic. So today we will go through the purpose of the retro, which it should be the agenda of a retrospectives, outcomes of the retrospective, some facilitation hints, tools and templates that maybe you can use, and a short, of course, we are at the retro, short blitz retro. So moving a little bit further, yeah, if we think of the retrospective, what is for you a retrospective? What it represents for your team a retrospective?
For retrospective, we should, how can I say, find, we should talk about the lessons that we, that's our previous sprints, what we did wrong, and what is the lesson that we can take it from it, and how we can fix it, and like this. And the other thing is how we solve the problems, if there's specific problems, and how we make what we make good, and this and what how can I say, where we stuck in doing sprint, and is there any way to fix it, and from now on, and like this we can write some cards, tasks, about all of them.
So let's try to summarize. Pick a sticky note in the section "What is the purpose of the retro?" Let's bring and let's try to summarize a little bit. I will also add my ideas, and I will start the timer. 1 minute. Yeah, let's think 1 minute. What's the purpose of the retrospective for our teams? Yeah.
Okay. Should I write?
Yeah, you can write. You can edit. Yeah, pick one. Here in the. Let me bring you to me.
I'm writing comment as comment, or
no. If you go in the bottom part, 1 moment. Yeah.
Yes.
You should go a little down on the board, and let me find where it is. Bring everyone to me. Okay, perfect.
I saw lots of sticky notes here.
Yeah. I prepared several sections.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So let's see what. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Good. So you add it. I will. Let's see what did you add in there. So.
I can find. I can summarize in one sentence, but purpose of in my mind is here. It's doing for better sprints, to take good points and bad points and strike what could be the improvements like this. We have three columns: like, learned, and don't like, dislike. So we are using it, and we are taking some tasks according to them.
Perfect.
But in one sentence, I can write this one.
Yeah, it's for doing so. It's for doing next sprints better.
Yeah.
And you're right. I also added. I tried to catch some points. So define improvement actions, and for both Scrum and Kanban teams. And now I will go a little up where I prepare the retro part. And what's the purpose of the retro? So you catched it very well. So main purpose it's continuous improvement. It's the only constant of it's changing and improving. This is the only constant in a team. As well, retrospective it is one of the 4 Scrum events. So we should have daily, we should have planning, we should have sprint review, and we should also have a retrospective. I would say retrospective applies as well to both Kanban and Scrum teams. But if we refer to a Scrum team, yeah, when it should happen a retrospective?
Right after the sprint review.
Perfect. And the reason would be that we take input from the sprint review, we take the results that the team had, and this input it is taking basically the output from the sprint review. It's coming as an input to sprint retrospective. And
yes.
Basically, I also worked with Kanban teams, and although they didn't have, let's say, a classical sprint, I advised them to have some iterations, to define some goals on a specific period of time, and I also advised them to review those goals, if they achieved the goals, if they didn't achieve the goals. So even this would work in a context of a Kanban team as well. So main idea is that the retrospective, it is for continuous improvement, and it should happen after the sorry, here it should be the sprint review. It should happen after the sprint review, as the outcomes and the feedback from the review will become the input for the retrospective.
Yes. Well, at this point, I want to mention something that it's how can I say it's harder to make people to understand, make people understand the benefits of retrospective, because developers think that this is an unnecessary meeting. So it's hard to tell them to this more than doing retrospective. I think.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why also I added this session, the structure of an effective retrospective. As well, in my career as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach, some of the teams didn't take it too serious. They wanted to do the retrospective outside, going to a pizza at the end of the week, having a beer. Some of the teams were very serious. And I had somehow to introduce this kind of structure that I want to present today, which will, first of all, we have the first trigger. We have the review, the sprint review. We have the review of the results of the team, or the review of the objectives of the team, if they achieve the objectives or not, in the past sprint, or in the past iteration, or in the past, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks, as they define. Yeah. So first of all, we rely on the results. Did we achieve what we planned? Are we according to achieving our objectives? And having this in mind, we should do the retrospective. Yeah, indeed, the sprint review should be a celebration. They should celebrate what they achieve. but they should also understand it's for their benefit. And now we go to the agenda of the retrospective. This is the key of our discussion today. And we should have on the agenda it should contain as well, so action items from the previous retrospective. So we should review the action items, review the open action items from the previous retrospective. It was a feature for bringing everyone to me. Okay, bring everyone to me. Okay, I don't have the business plan. That's why I don't have the feature. But I think you can follow me. So I think you can follow me, Igit. I hope I'm pronouncing.
Yes. My microphone is muted. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Igit, it's correct.
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, perfect. So. First topic which should be on the agenda, we should start with the open action items from the previous retrospective. Ideally, when you define, and you should define one, maximum 2 action items per retrospective, not more. And this should be planned in the next sprint or in the next iteration or in the next period if you are doing Kanban. So these actions from the retrospective actually should transform into backlog items, and the team should act on them if we want to have continuous improvement and if we want to have results. If we only want to have discussions, then maybe it's not a retrospective. If we don't have actions. I know people sometimes want to complain, want to say what doesn't work, but they should also focus on this improvement. What it stands in the power of the team to change, to evolve, or to improve. Mm-hmm. And here, regarding the open action items, from the previous retrospective, as I mentioned, we should also have one, maximum 2 action items defined for each retrospective, not more. Then the next point, after we reviewed if we still have open actions from the previous retros, we should review them, we should take action on them, and then the next point, it should be this quantitative discussion. The quantitative discussion, basically, we should review some objective evidence, like metrics. I also played a little bit. You can have a chart in a dashboard in Jira or in another tool, which you can use it with some metrics defined by the team for their effectiveness, agreed by the team, and you can review these metrics at the beginning of the retrospective. And like this, without having any, feelings or bad feelings, I feel bad about that or that, you have an objective evidence. You have metrics that speak.
Yeah. I think this is a good approach, I think, to use with dashboards in retrospectives. Yes.
You should agree with the team some metrics that they want to measure. Of course, they should measure this maybe more often, maybe daily, but you can also have a look at them at the retro if there are metrics which are reviewed not so often. Like sprint burn down chart. Please.
I've added some widgets to my dashboards to summarize of the sprint and show the outputs of the sprint. So yes, we can go on with this dashboard on the retrospective. Maybe we can think what is the aim of the retrospective meetings easily. Maybe it could be beneficial for us. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. So this will, again, having in mind the sprint review, having in mind the goal achievement, plus the metrics, this will trigger the discussions. And we will have this in a more structured way, in a more, not official way, but the team members will see that it is for them and it's for the team, and it's important as well to review these metrics if we want to improve. And like this, you trigger the discussion. It's much easier to have some discussions if you have this metrics review. Of course,
Yeah.
do it in a safe environment. I mean, don't point out anyone, no person. It's only focusing on the metrics, not on the persons, not blaming anyone. So it should be a blameless
Yes.
environment. And yeah, and then we go to the qualitative discussion. Yeah, as you mentioned at the beginning, maybe you have three columns: what went well, what didn't, what can we improve, and so on. And what is very important, of course, during these discussions, you should focus to group, or you should focus to vote the most important topics.
Yes.
You should
We are
focus.
we are voting as well.
Yeah.
Discussion topic.
Mm-hmm.
And in our the retrospective, second part of it is giving votes
Mm-hmm.
to more
Perfect.
to define the most common, most popular tasks, maybe in our retrospectives.
So you are also defining these action items at the end of the retrospective. You call them tasks, but I suppose these are action items. And now I want to ask you, because I also prepared in here a small exercise. If you go a little down, who should be the owner of the defined action items during the retrospective, from your perspective?
Actually, I'm making it.
Write it on the sticky note. Write it on the sticky note. Yeah.
I think it's Scrum Master's responsibility. It could be because if there's a block or something, he's the guy who should how can remove the blocks or something. Maybe it could be Scrum Master for stacking points of sprint. Actually, they should do Scrum Master do this in dailies maybe after this. But yeah, for example, for development improvements, team members can the responsibilities of this task. Sometimes product owners should be responsible. For example, if the stakeholders request is not clear or something, for example, this should be in charge of product owner maybe. So all Scrum teams are responsible, I can say.
Yeah, you're right. So I also added team members, and
Yeah.
I understand your perspective, and maybe as the Scrum Master is the one who is seen as the person that should unblock. Actually, I consider the Scrum Master being the person who should ensure that the topics are unblocked, but not mainly, not the person doing that all the time. So that's why I encourage the team members to take these actions and for them to drive them. Why? Because they will take ownership on the continuous improvement. Like this, they will see the importance of the retrospective. Otherwise, if only the Scrum Master takes all the time these actions,
yes, you're right.
Then they will not own. Simply, they will not own the retrospective, because at the beginning, what happens? The Scrum Master facilitates, plans the retrospective. If the Scrum Master is also the person who takes the actions, then they will not own it.
I assume that you asked me a specific person that who is used, so I choose Scrum Master. But yes, of course, as you said, all team members should take the responsibility of this, like this. And sometimes we have some, how can I say, sometimes the team members can write the lack of the technology of ours. So in this point, at this point, usually I'm taking the responsibility to direct communication with the management of team, because we don't have Scrum Master. I'm acting as both Scrum Master and product owner. I'm involving dailies as well, but I know it's not my responsibility. If I'm ensure that the meeting is happening, it's okay for me.
Yeah.
But I need to, in our situation, I need to involve them. Otherwise, they cannot be attend or something. So it's a little bit. I'm forcing them.
Yeah, and it's really great. It's really great. I was also part of such a teams. I was coaching several teams, and actually they didn't have a Scrum Master. I was initially the Scrum Master, but because I collaborated with so many teams, I had to make a step back. And as you mentioned, I facilitated the event, I facilitated the discussions, but they were owning the actions. And the best situation which I reached in, it was even on their own to facilitate the retro, and I was only assisting just to support if they needed. So yeah, that's the most mature level of a team from this point of view, where they facilitate on their own, they define actions and they track them. But until we reach there, they have to understand that these actions are for them. And of course, as you mentioned, depending on the structure of each organization, ideally it should be the direct discussion to unblock something, because between an engineer from a team and an engineer from another team, not going through the leadership or through the management. But sometimes it depends on the structure of the organizations, and that's why it's important. We even defined, and maybe I will include it in the academy program, we defined from team topologies some team APIs, where we had some business cards and communication cards for each of the team, the Slack channel of the team, the public one where everyone could ask questions and so on.
Yes, we have lots of sections. By the way, I integrated an extension to Slack, like called Geekboot. Maybe you know it. It's Geekboot is directly integrated to Slack, and you can define the questions and at every time, and you can define the time that these questions come to Slack. So it was for the people who cannot attend the dailies, because this Geekboot, this is like a chatbot, asking them from Slack, what did you yesterday? What are you planning today? And is there an obstacle about on you to proceed? So they took this message automatically. So if they attend, if they were not able to attend this, the meeting, they took this message, the boot message, and they answered this by writing to me as well. This is another extension that I benefit.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we should have these communication bridges available between, because otherwise the team members cannot own and they cannot solve the action items if they don't have the contact persons whom to contact. They don't have the communication channels available. So yes.
Yeah, by the way, we are a very big company based on Spain, and we have lots of operations in different countries, and we have a Scrum Master on global for what only one Scrum Master, but lots of teams. So
Yeah.
They couldn't attend. Firstly, they first of all at the beginnings he was attending, but then he give up attend because it's impossible
Yeah.
at 7 in the morning to attend all the companies dailies. So but in this company, let me tell you how we make the transition of Scrum. We don't have any people, any developer to know about Scrum.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know anything about Scrum. They company selects some people to get Scrum Master certificate, but it's not unexpected to transition to make the transition all of the company to Scrum, but it's not happening like this. It shouldn't be like this. For example, we need an Agile coach because we must be sure all the members of our company has to understand what Agile and means, what is Agile used for, like this. So it was hard to me to understand, to tell them about Scrum and this what the events is using for. But at the beginning, as I said, they still see unnecessary the retrospective meetings.
Because they can't see for the moment the big picture of the Scrum.
But I will try this dashboard thing. The next is retrospective meeting that you mentioned. I think it will be beneficial. Thanks a lot for this.
All right, I'm glad. Good. So after we define one or two, not more, because if we define more than two action items, the team will not implement them, and will be a big list of actions, and will only remain as a list. If you focus on one or two improvements in the upcoming sprint, it's more than enough. So, but as well, and I'm glad you are also maybe the product owner of the team, because you understand now that as a product owner, you should allocate some team capacity for continuous improvement. If you don't do this, well, things will not improve. So everyone should agree that they should define and plan for the upcoming sprint these 1-2 action items. Yeah, and if the next retro the actions are not implemented, we should also consider what to do in order to what to change in the process in order to be able to implement this and to improve.
Yes.
So some facilitation hints. Make sure that everyone's voice is heard. I think one of my passions is to facilitate retrospectives. This is a thing which I think I'm really good on. But I'm paying attention that everyone speaks, everyone participates.
I try some icebreaker meetings, icebreaker things in the meetings to make that to get used to talk them in the meetings. But some people really, how can I say, not scared, but they don't want to talk in the meetings because our meetings is a bit like with closing camp and only proceeding with microphone with voice, so we cannot see the people's attention in facely. So it could be and their microphone is muted as well. So I cannot feel the response what they think after I told something to them because I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything in the meetings. that's a bit how can I say, bad for me actually.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. That's the drawback of distributed teams and collaborating online. The plus is that we have tools like Miro, where we have this collaborative environment where you can involve everyone in different kind of exercises. But yeah, maybe when they read something, when they speak, they should speak with the open camera to see their as much as possible than their non-verbal language, which is as well quite important. Yeah, you have a very good point in here. Indeed, I love doing retrospectives face to face. I started with collocated teams, but then we had distributed teams in 2 or 3 countries, and yeah, I had somehow to manage with this. Indeed, we had either on each location. Usually, we had 2 or 3 locations, but at the retrospective, people from a location gathered together in a room, and then we shared cameras between locations. And
Yes, yes.
it was a step further, but you have if you have one person here, one there, and now working also remote from home, yeah, you cannot force them to come to the office, especially for the retrospective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Then we mentioned about different tools like and facilitation hints. Of course, in Miro or other tools, we have this voting mechanism. We have the timers, and what I love so much in Miro are the templates. I'm sure you know about them. I don't want to make any advertise Miro.
We are using Parabol. Maybe you heard about it.
No, but sounds interesting. Can you write somewhere? Let's make a. Let
me share.
Can you write it here on the facilitation hint?
Okay.
On the sticky note. Thanks. A little upper. If you go a little up, you should. Here. On this one.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I also used some other tools in the past, but yeah.
Because it becomes subscription, and we need to pay this, so it becomes hard. Is there anything is there any tool that you can recommend me? Could you please?
For retrospectives?
Yes.
Well, I was wanted to share in Miro. There are tons of templates. So, look, you have the 3 columns, all kind of retrospectives. Yeah, stop, start, continue. You have the analogy with the sailboat, and maybe in another session I will also use such a. I was using a lot this sailboat template. Sailboat, yeah, sailboat. Yeah, and even you see, you should not. Sorry.
Is it written in here in Miro?
Yeah, it's a template in Miro. Yes. Oh, sorry. Let me share. Sorry, let me share the screen. Let me share the screen. Right. Good. Sorry. So in Miro, you have a lot of templates. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So in the Miro templates, and now I'm not advertising Miro because I have a free plan. They don't pay me for nothing.
Yes.
But yeah, it's the tool that I use in the
I don't think like this. Okay.
But they have a lot of templates. I was using.
Is there any limited for Miro? I think this is Miro allows us to use. What can I say? Limited boards.
Yes, I think so. I don't know exactly the plans that they have, I have a free plan just for training purposes, but you can inspire from here. You can even search for images, or they have very good templates. You can also search for other kind of retrospective templates. And what I did, because we will landing now with our session from today, I simply took. I was searching for speed retrospective, and I found this image. Can you see it on the right? I simply
Yes, yes.
found this image, so this is not from Miro. It's yeah, from a website, and I simply took it, and having some sticky notes in here. Now we will do a blitz retrospective. So I want you to provide me some feedback, Gigit, on how was today's session. And you can take one green sticky note and put it on the green and say something in there. You can take
Yeah.
a blue one, you can take a red one, or an orange one, yeah, and so on. So
Speed of retrospective power tool.
yeah,
Okay.
we can do a quick retrospective. So what should I do more in the next sessions? What should I try more? What should I do less? And what should I stop
Okay.
doing? So
Okay.
let's say 1 minute for you to provide the feedback. Yeah?
Okay.
And I will prepare also another section which I need.
Yes.
Yeah, you can write. You can write down on the sticky note.
Okay. I'm assuming that we have finished the sprint and we are in the retrospective meeting. And
well, actually, no. This is for today's session. This is the feedback for
session.
me. Yeah, how was today's
brilliant.
session, Agile Friday?
I think, but because I confused because the title of this speed of retrospective too, so I didn't understand firstly what I should write.
Yeah, so it's an example of how we can do a speed retro. Yeah, how we can do very fast. I'm taking the feedback on how was the session from today. Yeah, if you want to apply it with your team and you want to do a short to do it quite fast, you can also apply it to the sprint. How was the sprint from the how was the past sprint for the team? Yeah,
Okay.
and but for me, just to as well to use this template practically, I would just say how was today's session. Yeah.
For example, like this.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. And like this, you have the feedback from every team member. Yeah.
This part is belongs to product owner or the who is managing the retrospective.
Yes, either the Scrum Master or the facilitator should organize this. So this is an example of a retrospective template. Yeah, what should I try next? What should I do less? Or what should I stop doing?
Now this is for Scrum Master.
Yes.
Or
no, it's for the team itself.
Okay.
Yeah, the retrospective it's for the team, but only this example, what you write now, it's the feedback for me. Yeah.
Are you seeing what I'm writing?
Yes, but I'm not. Yes. I can see, but I'm not with the screen on that part. For the moment.
I'm using for my team. I'm writing for my team. But you want me to feedback that the session that we made, or I will, or I can, or am I supposed to write what my team to write my teams as a respective?
No. You should write for me. How was the Agile Friday today? How was the the session from today? Yeah. Of course, you can
but
use such a template with your team, yeah, because it's very effective.
Okay, yeah, we can that could be less and more, of course, more time, I can say, could be better. Stop. Less and more. I want to more real-time examples, I can say, and try definite use case and working on this could be better. Define a specific example or like this situation or something or case and working on this during the session be better, but as I said, I need more time, not less. Everything is okay, and there's nothing to stop. Everything was cool.
All right.
Yeah, these are my feedbacks.
Thank you, Igit. Just 1 second. I will start the